What's going on, guys? Bart here with Working the Shoot, and today we're going to be getting into AEW's Double or Nothing 2023 results from their pay-per-view last night. But before I get into all that, I hope that today is the day we earn that subscription here at Working the Shoot, where we cover wrestling content. And let's get into it. AEW had their Double or Nothing event last night in Vegas, and let's get into it. The Battle Royal, the 21-man Battle Royal, with Orange Cassidy defending his title. My pick was that he was going to possibly lose this Battle Royal, possibly Powerhouse Hobbs winning the title. But before the pay-per-view yesterday, there were some withdrawals out of that Powerhouse Hobbs and QT Marshall being two of the people that stepped out of the Battle Royal. But at the end of the day, Orange Cassidy did win and retained his title. I believe it's called the All-Atlantic title, okay? And he ended up winning the Battle Royal here, still retaining his title. The next set of results we have is Adam Cole versus Chris Jericho in an unsanctioned match. And I'm just going to mention something that kind of just touches on, again, the AEW writing sometimes and the confusion they add to certain things that are unnecessary to do, or just trying to overbook stuff. If it's an unsanctioned match, there's no contracts to sign, right? But they ended up having a contract signing anyway. And it was a contract between the two of them. Like, you two are ready to beat each other's brains out in a stadium, and you think that a piece of paper is going to make either one of them do anything. I mean, give me a break. Adam Cole winds up winning this match. And another thing I had heard that I thought was interesting was that Chris Jericho and that like Saraya, Toni Storm, and Ruby Riott, I don't know her AEW name right now, when they're beating up Britt Baker, it was such a horrible beatdown that she was on TV weeks after that and still doing her own thing. So that's how bad that beatdown was, right? So why was Adam Cole even mad? He should be laughing that Chris Jericho hired such scrawny little chicken-legged ladies to beat up Britt Baker, because she was fine. You know what I mean? But Adam Cole winds up winning that. I thought he was going to maybe win that. It was a win that I think he needed coming back, and Chris Jericho at the moment doesn't necessarily need a win. The next set of results is Wardlow versus Christian for the TNT title. It's a ladder match, and I think that this was a great match for Wardlow to be in with Christian. Of all people, Christian is a really good worker. He's smart. He knows how to work ladder matches, especially with big guys. One of my favorite feuds with Christian of all time was his feud with Abyss for the TNA title. Okay, that's what I was trying to say. But Wardlow winds up winning the ladder match over Christian. I had an idea. I wasn't going to be surprised if Christian won, but I think Wardlow winning is a good call here. Because, again, Christian is someone who can take a loss and not necessarily have it affect his career too much. The man's GOAT, Come on. The next match is Toni Storm versus Jamie Hayter for the AEW Women's Heavyweight title. And Jamie Hayter was beaten in a few minutes. And Toni Storm winds up becoming your AEW World Women's Heavyweight title holder. The reason why it was such a squash match, stay squanchy, okay, guys? The reason why it was such a squash match was that Hayter has been injured, and they weren't trying to do interim champion and regular champion. Just have her lose in a squash match, stay squanchy in a squash match. And, that's what they did here. Toni Storm beat her in 5 minutes, becoming your new AEW Women's title holder. The next match was for the trios titles, House of Black versus The Acclaimed. This has been a pretty fun feud for a lot of people. And the House of Black winds up winning the trios title. I like Aleister Black a lot. I know that's not what his name is here in AEW. But I'm always going to know him as Aleister Black. He is a great talent. I hope that he continues success in AEW with what he's doing there with the House of Black. Now, we have another surprise here when Jade Cargill was supposed to go against Taya Valkyrie, and she beat Taya Valkyrie for the TBS title. TBS title. But then she put out an open challenge, and Chris Statlander came out to accept that open challenge and won, giving Jade Cargill her first AEW loss ever in the history of AEW. So that's a big deal for them to do. Watch for that feud to start popping and cooking up over the summer, basically. Then we have MJF versus Jack Perry versus Darby versus Sammy Guevara for the AEW World title. And, of course, MJF comes out on top for that match. Winning over Darby Allin with a headlock takeover. Weird. MJF is a good promo. He had a good talking points during the media scrum after the pay-per-view, talking about how Tony Khan's running out of people and this and that. So, yeah, he's still your AEW World Heavyweight Champion. He also said something about not worrying about going on last and joked about how why would he want to roll around in Jon Moxley's blood, which is true. Every time that man fights, it's like he's bleeding. It's crazy. Which then ultimately leads us to the Blackpool Combat Club versus the Elite in a stadium mayhem in the stadium match, and the Blackpool Combat Club wound up winning that match. As long as the Elite didn't win, I'm okay with that. I'm not big on them, and I'm not really big on this. I like some of the Blackpool Combat Club guys, but Jon Moxley just does nothing for me. I'm sure he's a nice guy, man. I'm not trying to say he's like a nobody or doesn't do good or well in the ring or nothing, but I just don't connect with the character. I don't connect with the type of matches he does or wants to do. And that's okay too, you know what I mean? There's an audience for it. I'm just not it, and that's okay. To like different things in wrestling. But I will say, in an overall sense, I'm glad they beat the Elite. Because if anything, I totally don't like the Elite on really any sort of level. I'd rather watch John Moxley matches consistently than them. Put it that way. But yeah, that's your AEW Double or Nothing 2023 review. You let me know down on the below if there was any swerves that you thought were cool. Should there have been more swerves, less swerves? Winners that you think that should have been winners but were losers, and vice versa. Let me know all that down below. I hope that today is the day you subscribe. And until next time, peace, Nookums.